What's up everybody? Today's video I'm going to show you how to build more slats. If you haven't seen the other videos that we've done in slats, they came out pretty good. It's a really nice design piece. So I'm going to show you how to actually build these. This is real wood. It wraps around in the front over here. So we're going to show you how to build this entire thing on a really small budget. Stay tuned for the whole video. Alright, so another reno. We love these slats. We're going to have the slats basically ground right to the top. We're gonna stain the brown, very similar to what we did right here. The same color, but the back is gonna be blue. It would look like that. You see, there's blue. All right, so we were playing around with using thinner pieces of wood for the slats, but I feel that in this space, it would be much better to use these wider ones. So these are 2.5 by 1. Now, we're not sure if we're gonna continue on from here, so we may just rip this hole out and do a continuation just so it flows into the room. The issue is that we actually have this whole thing tiled. So if we take this away, we may just rip this hole out. This is what you call cladding. This is an Arctic tile. You can see we wrapped it around here and we wrapped it around here, and it goes all the way above here because this is a room in here that's got a nice little modern fireplace. Anyways, get yourself not a pine. This is a really nice, smooth, finished wood. You're gonna stain this dark walnut. Step 1, lay these down on the floor. One of these has a smoother side. Put side that's smooth up, and that's the side that we're gonna be staining. Then grab a microfiber towel, one that doesn't release any fibers or strings when you rub this against it. And now we just go back and forth with the rag. It literally takes a second. Now we're gonna do 2 layers just to get it a little darker. It takes about 5 minutes in between the layers. So here's what it looks like when they're all kind of done. So now we gotta remove this one, and we gotta remove this one, and this one. We're gonna have to blend this in with putty, and then we're gonna put the wallpaper all the way up. We do have to patch all this stuff up because you need to make sure that you have a very smooth facade underneath the wallpaper. It doesn't have to be super perfect because we're gonna be obviously nailing these in, and then that's gonna cover all the imperfections. So we are using the dust control sheetrock, and I've already sanded it, wet dried it, because you wanna make sure all the dust is off. So now we're gonna go and grab our wallpaper, and we're going to apply it here. So this is the peel and stick wood grain, or waterproof to an extent. It's got an adhesive on the back. It definitely looks like wood. All you need is a sharp knife, an X-Acto knife, and a squeegee, and some patience. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you're going to measure off 12 inches because that's the width of the wallpaper from the edge wherever you're going. This will give us a nice straight line so we can continue on placing the pieces. You do want to overlap them, maybe like 1/8 of an inch as well. But if you wouldn't necessarily have a piece of wood, then I would probably just say bump them joint to joint. So let's put the roll on the floor, and we're gonna go all the way up to the very top here to our crown molding. And now we're gonna go and cut that. Okay. Now if you are not smooth and you have any prickles, you will feel it. But because this wallpaper is about I wanna say 32nd of an inch, it will cover some imperfections, and you're not gonna see any divots or any imperfections from afar. Only if you were to touch them, you're actually gonna see them. So now you can take the squeegee, or you can use your hand and just kind of press in to make sure that it all goes into the edge. And we're gonna start peeling and using our squeegee. The next step is to wrap this around and cut this up here. So to do that, we're gonna first figure out with our finger and create like a line here, and we want to take this part and we're going to cut this way. Now we're going to leave a little bit of an overlap. Tuck it and then just go as straight as you can, and then again use your hand to apply it. And once it's completely pressed in here, the next step is simply cut the trim off. Now we're ready for the next step, which is adding these. We're gonna start off with the edge and the inner edge. We're gonna grab our PL8X, put little dabs of glue in the center, because once we press it, it's going to spread outward. So that's why you wanna put them on the center. And all we're doing is just pressing against this. Right, now we're not gonna shoot this in place. We're going to glue this one so we can have a nice tight bond right here where you don't actually see the seam. Now position both of them as close and tight as you can so you don't have to re-silicone this, and we're gonna shoot this. All right, and I'm pretty happy with the way this is turning out. And now, as always, just make sure that you're nice and plump. So now that both of them are done, the next steps are quite easy. We just have to figure out the gap in between. So we've placed this piece here as a guide, and now we're gonna be adjusting it and shooting all the way going to the top. We're shooting, pulling it in, shooting, shooting, pulling it in, shooting. The next one's gonna be against this edge here. So now that all three are in, I'm quite happy with it. All right, so let's keep going and attach the next one. We're gonna continue pressing this down. Press inwards and secure this in place. And this is after the whole switch is done. Now we've also cut a piece right here, and we went to the top, and then we went and cut this piece here to separate it and went to the bottom.
Now we drew a line over here because this is what we have to cut right now. So we're gonna go and cut it.
So we've cut that. Now this part is flush with this. So now we just have to go and cut a little sliver in here, enough for it to bump against that. We shoot this in, put a little glue at the top, and then all we have to do essentially is just glue the other ones on the floor. So that is a 5.5, well they call it a 6 by 1 by 8 foot knotty pine, or you can also get whitewood. We're using the dark walnut, and then we're just basically just gonna stain it by rubbing the stain in. And this is the same stain that we're using on the side slats. So we're gonna do 2 layers of this, and then we're going to basically start adding them in. All right, so this is what it looks like on the front, and now we are adding this last piece, like I said. Put some glue on there, and now we're gonna slowly, gently apply this. There we go. All right, so we decided to do something even different and better. Plus we needed to add stability to basically this whole thing. So we came up with this really neat idea. Basically, we're gonna start with like a piece right here, like that, right? And then we're gonna go a smaller piece. And then we're gonna go maybe a little smaller, and then we're gonna go back up again. And that's gonna create this like interesting little design at the bottom while making it more sturdy. And we cut a piece right here that we're gonna attach all those to. So we don't really need to now even worry about gluing this into the tile, screwing it or anything like that, because this is going to maintain everything. This will be attached to the back beam right there, and then all of these are gonna get shot into this one right here. So all in all, it's gonna have pretty good stability, and these are cut so tight, and we're gonna apply glue at the very top as well. All right, so we glued this in. We even made a nice little round edge to match this, just for aesthetic reasons. So we've shot that in, and now we shot the first one, and now I'm going to show you how to add these. We're going to shoot it from this side in. And then this one. Put a little glue at the bottom here, and again, remember, we're shooting this into this one. And then we still need to get 2 more of these beams to extend it out. 2 or 1, I'm still not sure. But we also did this at the very top, as you can see. And we stained the inside as well, because when you're looking this way, you want that to carry through to this. So all in all, here's what it looks like so far.